Hey, hey, and welcome back to Miss Kitty's Wild West Adventures. When we think of retirement, we often think of golfing, knitting, maybe tending to a small dog. But that's not how one Wild West character chose to live out their retirement. Stay tuned for more. Alice Ivers was born in 1851 in Devonshire, England, to a conservative schoolmaster and his wife. When Alice was a young girl, the family moved to the United States, and Alice attended the most elite boarding schools in America. In her teenage years, her family moved once again, this time to Leadville, Colorado, where Alice met a mining engineer by the name of Frank Duffield, who also happened to be a sporting man. Alice would often accompany him to the gambling halls, and she observed and learned how to be a pretty good card player herself. When her husband died in a mine explosion a few years into the marriage, Alice was left to fend for herself, so she decided to make a career out of her card playing. She would go to the gambling halls herself. She was young, attractive, and she gave the surly miners something pleasant to look at while she took their money. Soon she began puffing on cigars and carrying a .38 revolver for protection, and after every big win she would end up retiring back to New York City, where she would restore her wardrobe with the latest fashions. She soon found herself in Deadwood, South Dakota. Has anyone been to Deadwood? Please leave a comment down below and let me know about your experience. While in Deadwood, she met another sporting man by the name of Warren Tubbs, after she saved his life by shooting another man who was threatening to kill Warren. She ended up marrying Warren, and together they had 7 children. She took a break from gambling for a long while she managed a homestead and raised her babies. But sadly, Warren died in 1910 of consumption, and Alice was left to fend herself once again. Faced with supporting herself, she took to the gambling halls once again, and she hired a man named George Huckert to look after her farm. But she casually forgot to pay him for his labor, and in the end decided it was cheaper just to marry him than pay his back wages. Some 3 years later, however, she was widowed for the third and final time. During Prohibition, Alice ran a saloon and hotel called Poker's Palace, where she supplied liquor, gambling, and women to her male customers. She was arrested many times and always paid her fines, but always continued to run her saloon. Finally, she was arrested for repeated convictions and actually sentenced to prison. However, given her advanced age of 75, the governor of South Dakota pardoned her, as long as she promised to shut down her house of ill repute. In the end, it wasn't alcohol or cigars or a revolver that did her in, but her gallbladder. She ended up dying after complications from gallbladder surgery at the age of 79. She is buried in Sturgis, South Dakota. Has anyone ever been to Sturgis? I went there years ago, right before the Sturgis Motorcycle Rally. Let me know your adventures down below in the comments. Travelers through Sturgis can still stay at Poker Alice's House of Ill Repute, though the working girls have long since retired. If you like this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up, hit the bell for notifications, and hit the subscribe button. Be sure to tell your friends as well. And in the meantime, I'll catch you on down the trail.